So I live in the city of Jacksonville. And the biggest question that's going around the city of Jacksonville right now is, what is going on with the Jacksonville Jaguars? What is the problem with the Jaguars franchise? And I can tell you what the problem is. And I think it's pretty simple. The front office. You see, Tom Coughlin, he's gone. But when Tom Coughlin was in the front office, what was he? I think he was vice president of football operations for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he set a toxic work environment. And it's to the point that nobody wants to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was finding players left and right. Players were unhappy, upset. Jalen Ramsey was so upset to the point that he was finding all kinds of ways not to have to suit up for any more games for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he eventually got traded. And it's a miracle that the Jacksonville Jaguars were able to get a first-round pick for Jalen Ramsey. Now, Yannick Ngakoue, he wants out of Jacksonville. He just got franchised. And he said that he wants to get traded. Now, a lot of people keep saying that. A lot of Jaguar fans keep on telling me that Yannick Ngakoue got franchise tag. He has no choice but to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. No, he doesn't. Yannick Ngakoue can simply say, hey, I'm not playing for you guys unless you guys trade me. So here's what he's going to do. If he doesn't get traded, he's going to sit out. He's not going to play any games for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then he probably won't get paid, but he'll end up becoming a free agent since he never stepped on the field for the Jacksonville Jaguars next season. I learned that because I'm a Steelers fan, and that's what happened with the Le'Veon Bell situation. So Yannick Ngakoue doesn't have to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars at all. He can just say, hey, I just won't get paid this season, but I just won't play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Right? So he wants out, and it's all because of the bad front office of Jacksonville Jaguars. And Sean Khan is largely at blame here because he didn't hop on the situation a lot earlier. You see, Sean Khan should have took notice of all these crazy fines and complaints by the players. I don't know what took him so long to make the decision. You see, he waited until the NFL Player Association started striking down all these violations, and they were going to let upcoming free agents know, hey, be careful when you consider going to Jacksonville because they got some stuff going on. They got a lot of complaints and a lot of violations. So he had no choice but to fire him. And Sean Khan, I still think that Sean Khan still forgot to clean more house in the front office. He should have got rid of the whole entire front office of Jacksonville Jaguars and started out fresh. You see, he got rid of Tom Coughlin. Okay, Tom Coughlin was a huge cancer to Jacksonville Jaguars. He was a huge problem. But he also should have got rid of Dave Caldwell as well. Because, look, you can't just get rid of one. It was the whole entire front office. Tom Coughlin was the ringleader. Okay, he was a big part of the cancer in the front office. But Dave Caldwell also should have went with him as well. Dave Caldwell has, ever since he's been the general manager for the Jacksonville Jaguars since what, 2013? What has Dave Caldwell won since he's been the general manager for the Jacksonville Jaguars? He was there before Tom Coughlin got there in 2017 and hasn't done absolutely nothing. Okay, now he's drafted a couple of studs and everything like that, but still, he hasn't put together a good enough roster to make it to the playoffs. It took Tom Coughlin to get there when they went to the playoffs in 2017 for that one season. And that's because they had a weak schedule. They played a lot of backups. They only played a couple of starting quarterbacks. That season, they went to the playoffs. So they had a favorable schedule, right? And that's a big reason why the Jaguars went to the playoffs in 2017. But the point is that Sean Khan, when he got rid of Tom Coughlin, should have got rid of Dave Caldwell, and he should have cleaned house in the front office. Now, the front office is a big reason why the Jacksonville Jaguars are not going to go anywhere in the foreseeable future. Sean Khan should have cleaned house. Should have got rid of the whole entire front office, brought in some new guys. Now, I do agree with the decision to keep Doug Moreau, believe it or not, because a lot of people are going to be like, JT, what the heck? You don't know what you're talking about. Doug Moreau is a terrible coach. What do you want Doug Moreau to do about players who don't want to show up? You see, Doug Moreau isn't the problem. Jalen Ramsey said he loved Doug Moreau. He was not the problem. It was the front office that was the problem. The front office made that toxic locker room. And it's hard to win a lot of games in professional sports when you have a bad locker room. Every team that goes to the playoffs has a good culture in the locker room. You don't see bad stories about players not wanting to play for a team that's in the playoffs most of the time. You don't see players playing for the New England Patriots saying that they won out in New England. You don't see players playing for the Kansas City Chiefs saying that they won out in Kansas City. That's the difference between the Jacksonville Jaguars and playoff caliber football teams. Bad locker room versus a good locker room. Doesn't matter how talented of a roster you have. If you have a bad locker room, you're not going to win a lot of games because chemistry matters in sports. Believe it or not. Because football is the only sport that you need to rely on not only yourself, but the guy on the next to you. You got to rely on him to do his job as well so you can do yours. Football is a team sport, so if it's a bad vibe in the locker room, that's going to affect the player on the field. Now, the good thing is that the Jacksonville Jaguars, although Dave Caldwell still is in the front office, I still think Tom Coughlin being gone is going to help out a lot of things. I think the A.J. Boye trade was pretty good. Because they got rid of him for a 4th-round pick. Now they possibly could use that 4th-round pick to try to lure teams to take on Nick Foles' salary and help him get a salary cap dump and get rid of Nick Foles. Because they can't release Nick Foles because they release him, they're going to take a large cap hit. They're going to have to end up paying him some of that money up front. So the only way the Jacksonville Jaguars can get rid of Nick Foles without taking a large cap hit is by trading him. And you might be like, JT, who would trade for Nick Foles? Well, a lot of teams sometimes would be willing to take on a player's contract for additional draft picks. So the Jacksonville Jaguars might have to give up a 2nd or 3rd round pick to get rid of Nick Foles, but they got to get rid of Nick Foles some way, somehow. And I also think the front office has something to do with the decision to reinsert Nick Foles back into the starting quarterback spot instead of rolling with Gardner Minshew. I believe the Jacksonville Jaguars should have rolled with Gardner Minshew as soon as he showed that he was capable of being a franchise quarterback when Nick Foles went down with injury. There was no reason why Nick Foles should have been inserted back into the starting lineup. And the only reason I think he was because of Doug Moreau being told to do so by the front office. Because nobody likes to see a bad investment. Everybody wants to see some kind of return on their investment. So the front office probably pressured Doug Moreau, told him, hey, start Nick Foles. We're paying this guy at $88 million. We need this guy to start. We need to get our money's worth. The Jacksonville Jaguars front office just couldn't cut their losses and say, hey, we failed, but at least we got Gardner Minshew. So for the bright side is, you got Gardner Minshew. You finally got a franchise quarterback. Gardner Minshew is probably the best quarterback the Jacksonville Jaguars have had since David Garrard. Right? Then you got a good stable of wide receivers. Specifically, DJ Chark and D.D. Westbrook. Both those guys have improved every season. DJ Chark had a really phenomenal season. Well, phenomenal first half of the season. Then he kind of dipped off in the second half in production. But DJ Chark and D.D. Westbrook have bright futures ahead of them. Leonard Fournette is a stud when he's able to stay fully healthy and he has a good offensive line block in front of him. So the offense, to me, isn't really a problem besides the fact that they need to improve a couple of spots on the offensive line, maybe look to upgrade at the tight end position. But the whole lies with the defense. The Jacksonville Jaguars are rebuilding, but it's not a full rebuild. They're rebuilding the defense. Now, a lot of Jacksonville Jaguar fans don't understand why, but here's the thing. It's hard to keep an elite defense in the NFL. You can have an elite offense for a very long time, but it's very hard to keep an elite defense for some reason. Don't ask me why, but it's very hard to. It's very hard to keep a defense full of 7 Pro Bowlers around for multiple seasons because a lot of players are going to demand large salaries, and then some things might just happen. Right? So I told Jacksonville Jaguar fans, they said that, after they went to the playoffs in 2017, that they were like, oh, man, you tripping, man. We going to the Super Bowl next year, 2018 or 2019, man. We finna win so many Super Bowls. And I was like, why? It's like, man, you see how good our defense is? Jacksonville, Calais Campbell, Jalen Ramsey. Who gonna stop us on defense? And I told them, I said, enjoy your good defense while it lasts because great defenses in the NFL don't last very long. Look at the Legion of Boom. The Legion of Boom or the Legion of Doom only lasted 3-4 seasons. Look at the Denver Broncos defense. The defense that led them to the Super Bowl back in 2015. Look where it happened. They had to rebuild. You got to eventually rebuild a good defense if you want that defense to be good again. That's just what happens. Players demand a lot of money. Sometimes players get old. It's very hard to keep an elite defense in the NFL. So this rebuild on the defense side of the ball for the Jacksonville Jaguars is absolutely necessary. You got rid of Jalen Ramsey. Okay, he didn't want to play. You got to get rid of Yannick Ngakoue. You still got Tavian Bryant. You still got Miles Jack. You still got Josh Allen, who ended up being a Pro Bowler last year. So, I mean, you still have some good young players on the defense side of the ball. And that's a good thing for the Jacksonville Jaguars, that they are getting younger on the defense side of the ball. You got to get rid of Yannick Ngakoue, even though he's pretty young as well. But for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they had to rebuild on the defense side of the ball, because great defenses don't last in the NFL forever. Eventually, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to have to rebuild. And for all you Jacksonville Jaguar fans, I was saying, you guys didn't need Jalen Ramsey. Before Jalen Ramsey got traded, you guys were 12th in total yards on defense. You were 12th in the NFL and pass yards per game allowed. When Jalen Ramsey got traded to the Los Angeles Rams, you went from 12th in the NFL, which was above average, to near bottom in the NFL in pass yards per game allowed once Jalen Ramsey got traded. So Jalen Ramsey was a big part of your defense. So for the Jacksonville Jaguars, the problem with the Jacksonville Jaguars is not Doug Marrone, but I think the problem is with the front office. The front office made a toxic work environment for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it leaked over into the locker room, which affected the on-the-field play, and now nobody really wants to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the front office is a problem with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me know what you guys think about the Jacksonville Jaguars down in the comment section down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content, and thanks for watching.